But first, Jessica Ennis, Laura Robson, two of the country's top sports stars. But there's a big row about how women are treated when it comes to sport. Hundreds of people complained when BBC sports commentator John Inverdale made sexist comments about the women's Wimbledon champion, Marion Bartoli. The BBC apologised for the remarks, but now a top government minister says it should be doing more.
I just wonder if her dad did say to her when she was 12, 13, 14 maybe, you are never going to be, a looker. You are never going to be somebody like a Sharapova. You are going to have to be the most dogged, determined fighter that anyone has ever seen on the tennis court.
Maria Miller, the government minister in charge of sport, was so upset by this comment by John Inverdale. Before the Wimbledon final, she wrote a letter to the head of the BBC to express concern that a comment on the looks of a female athlete could be made during one of the world's biggest sporting events. John Inverdale later apologised to the player and said it's talent and determination that gets you to the top. But Maria Miller is concerned that if attitudes don't change, young girls will be put off watching and taking up sport.
But we need to make sure, as the media, that we don't make those sorts of comments that trivialise women's sport and make it about their appearance rather than their talent.
Women's sports coverage is increasing in popularity, and the BBC says it's never shown so much of it, the current coverage of Euro 2013 being a highlight of the summer.
It's really important that women get that kind of coverage, because who are the role models for young girls otherwise? If they're only seeing men competing at the top level when women are perfectly capable of doing it, then what does that say to young girls watching the television?
The BBC say they've told John Inverdale what he said was unacceptable, and it's doing all it can to get even more women's sport across its daily output. And from a row that's hotting up to the even hotter weather, it's still